Hello, this is John from caveofprogramming.com. In this video we're going to look at adding a Twitter Bootstrap Navbar to our site. So again, this is not essential to the topic of this tutorial, but a Bootstrap Navbar just looks better than what I could do by just adding a few links myself in a short amount of time. So we may as well use it. So let's go to a browser and search for something like Bootstrap Navbar. And so here it says Navbar template for Bootstrap, so that sounds good. So let's go to this. You want to try to make sure that you get an example that's right for your version of Bootstrap. Let's click View Navbar. In fact, I won't do. What I'll do is, this is actually an example of a Navbar. Okay, so I've got no reason to think that this is an old version, so it looks good. It doesn't matter where you find this example. You know, you might find an example on Stack Overflow. Just make sure that it's the right version for your version of Bootstrap. So here, it happens at this moment in time that we've got this example, and we can click on these links here to see different types of navbars. So this is the default. This is a navbar here. It's got a drop-down menu in it and stuff, which we could use if we want. If you click static top, that's a navbar that is at the top of your page, but scrolls up and down when you scroll the page. Fixed top stays in the same place when you scroll the page. So these are just details that are just relevant at the moment. I don't know how long they'll be relevant in the future, but the point is to just follow an example and add some kind of navbar to our site. I'm going to choose this static top one, and I'm going to view the source. So however you do that in your browser with your developer tools installed, view the source, and then we can see what our navbar looks like. So if I scroll down, we see there's a comment here. It says static navbar, and it starts, in this particular case, it starts with a nav tag, and it's got to end with a nav tag. So that's not a standard HTML tag as far as I know, but it does the trick anyway. Maybe it is, I'm not sure. Okay, so let's just copy this. I don't know if it was introduced recently or something. Let's copy the whole thing, the whole navbar HTML example, and go to Eclipse. And I'm going to go to my app, and I'm going to go to my web app folder, webinf layouts default.jsp. So we've already added Bootstrap to this, or you can add whatever sort of library or framework you like to make your website, responsive and to help you style navbars and stuff like this. And let's just paste this in after the opening body tag here. Okay, so I'm going to edit this a bit because I actually don't need most of this. You can edit it in just whatever way you like, basically. So this first div here, this block here, is actually, I think, just a button that if you look at it on a small screen, you get like a button that enables you to show and hide the navbar. Let's leave that in here. There's this link here which actually just displays the project name. You might want to replace that with a little image, the logo for your site or whatever. Let's just type something in here. Let's say Spring Boot Tutorial. Now for the rest of the stuff here, there's an example of a drop-down menu here. So if you're not too familiar with HTML, the really important thing is that if you delete an opening tag, you've got to delete the closing tag with it. And if I double click the opening tags in Eclipse, it will highlight the closing tag in grey for me here. So let's get rid of this drop down menu. There's the classes drop down menu, so I'm pretty sure that's what it is. We'll get rid of that. These look like a bunch of links. We've got this thing here, which that seems to be this stuff up here. Well, I don't know whether to get rid of that or not, really. We could leave it for the moment. Let's maybe just leave one in and see how it looks. And let's change that to something here, because this is a good example of aligning stuff to the right on the navbar. So I'll keep that around in case I decide to use it later on. I'm just going to do Control D or Command D to delete that blank line there. Same for this. Now these links here, there's a few and there's a drop down. I don't think I'm going to use the drop down, so I'm going to get rid of that. In our tiles at the moment, we've only got an about and a home.jsp. let's leave the about in. Let's get rid of the contact link, and we'll just have home and about. And home, I'm going to set that to slash, and the about I'm going to set to slash about. Okay, so I'll save all that, and let's take a look at it. So I probably won't need to restart it. Let's go to localhost, and if it looks terrible, I might try restarting it. So yeah, okay, I think I'm still running the last project. Let's actually stop that and go to my app.java, right click, run as Java application. So I've got to make sure that I'm running the right project now, and go back and refresh that. And with a bit of luck, here's our navbar. Oh yeah, so one thing I did, I've edited the text for the about by mistake instead of the link there. So yeah, so I want this here to say about, and I want the link to it to be slash about. Let's refresh that, see how it looks. There we go. So if I click home, it should just really do nothing. There's also this, the name of the site here on the top left. That's also linked. So if I look for that, here it is. I'm going to actually link that to slash for the moment at least. Okay, so now those links should be working. This something here isn't working, doesn't do anything. But these other three links, they work. So if I click about, it says this is the about page, and I can go home again here. Okay, so this, well, it doesn't look great because it's not styled at all. So in the next video, we're just going to style this a little bit. And then pretty soon we're going to be able to leave this alone and go on to some stuff that's more closely relevant to Spring Boot. Okay, so however you do that, you know, it's good if you have some navbar on there. And if you want, you can just put some, you know, text links on yourself if you know a bit of HTML. This isn't really a big deal. Okay, so until next time, happy coding.